All right, so I've driven it some more. It's kind of like a Cadillac.
Yeah, she
Soft.
rides.
It's like, you know, it's
a cruiser right now.
yeah. Is there anything we can do to make that better?
Already done.
What?
That easy.
Holy cow. Can you like talk about this?
I can try. I'll try to sound intelligent and talk about it.
I don't know about the intelligent part, but can you talk about it?
Yeah,
Is what
well,
I
I
want
can
to
talk about anything. I already flashed you a new tune. It should make the better sounds, go faster. I slapped the keyboard.
You slapped. Yeah, I saw you slapping the keyboard. I thought you were mad at it.
Yeah, nah.
You're doing a Hollywood thing, right?
Yeah, no, I'm making the tune mad.
It's gonna have a mad tune.
It's gonna be nasty.
So what do you need me to just like pull it out on the counter over here on the hood, or do you want to sit in the car, or what?
Yeah, let's go up to the hood. That'll
Okay,
be
because you got enough cable, right?
I don't need to hook to the cable.
Okay, cool. Let's go. All right, so I see line graphs.
Yes. It is
What
pretty
am I seeing with line graphs?
So these are your shift points at certain RPMs and throttle position.
What's the order? Is the green first?
Yeah, so if you look on the right side of US Shift, it gives you a legend of all of the lines, what each one means.
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of 2 of them, and we're only going to focus on the 1-2 upshift, or at least 1-2 shifts right now.
Okay.
So pretty much this line, this is a tune that I've already messed with a good bit. On this tune, I've moved the 1-2, 2-3, pretty much up above 30% throttle. I've moved it to where it's shifting above 1700 RPM or 1800 because it's a Cleveland. They breathe better at high RPM, so if we're stepping in it, we want it to shift higher.
Wait a minute. This thing doesn't come with preset tunes?
It does.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it's a soft tune. So the original one, let's go ahead and pull it up. Well, let's see. At 30% right now, I've got it set to shift at 25 miles per hour, which is 3,050 RPM. So that's 30%. So let's pull up the original tune and see where 30% is. All right, so at 30%, it's shifting at 1900 at 2250. So I moved it about 1,000 RPM up.
Okay.
And I did that with the entire line above 30%, and I just kept it linear. I didn't really do exponential.
Right.
An exponential line would be something along the lines of this, which would shift like absolute shit. But a line where it curves up steeply rather than straight across.
Okay.
Don't do that. That's horrible. But let me open up the old tune. Well, the new tune.
And you can save as many of these in there as you want, right?
Yeah,
I mean, you can put as many of the tunes in.
You can make as many copies of this as you want, make as many tables on the, well, the controller can have 4 tunes on it at once.
Right.
So you can have one safety tune, which is the factory tune, which is what I'd leave on there because we know it.
And that's the Cadillac Cushy tune.
Yeah, and that's table 1. That's just, it just works.
Yeah.
But you could have semi-aggressive, really aggressive.
They even have one in here that's a drag race tune that's basically...
Well, you can have drag race mode.
Right.
Which you can ground a wire or you can do a couple other ways to trigger it, but that makes it shift only at the wide open settings. So you only want to use this doing a burnout or dragging it.
Which is really good for the clutch packs and all in the transmission, but not really good necessarily for the rest of the drive line.
Yeah. Well, the clutch packs and everything, that actually comes in with the firmness.
Right.
So besides the upshift lines, you can also select 1-2 shift firmness, 2-3, and 3-4, and also downshift firmness. So I haven't really messed with this too much. This is what this is commanding is line pressure while you're running.
Right.
The higher the line pressure, the harder the clutch engages, then the better for the transmission long term. The longer the clutch is meshed, the more wear, the more heat, and the more degradation to the clutch packs.
Which is, you want a little bit snappier shift in a performance car anyway. You don't want it to feel, like I said, that's the only thing I don't really care for how it's set up right now is just kind of a Cadillac shift.
Yeah, so
you can't even really tell.
And the way I set this one up is I left 10 to 20% because when we were driving the other day, I noticed most of the cruising, we were just around 10%. So I want it to still be soft there and manageable and not be super aggressive when you're just driving around.
But then whenever you nail it down,
I moved above 30% because that's really where you're trying to get into passing gear or take off the line and just get moving. So it should down low when you're just cruising around, should operate just like the other one.
Now, if a guy didn't want to go in and do his own tunes, could he go out and get tunes from US Shift, or are there other tunes that they offer within the program when you get the program for your laptop?
Yeah, so whenever you download it, you get all of these. Pretty much every transmission that shift controller will cover is all in here. There's different options for different transmissions. Most of the time for 4R70W and the AODs and all that stuff, you only get RPM adjustments. You have diesel, 5,000, 5,500, and 6,000. So a diesel tune is going to be shifting around 3,000 RPM, and then 5,000, 5,500, 6,000.
That's really cool. So you can set it up by RPM for if you're wanting to do something that's really more performance oriented.
And you can just
a higher revving engine like this one, you would want to go with a little bit more RPM because it is a Cleveland. Now it's got the 2V Aussie heads on it, so it's not as bad as a 4V Cleveland.
Yeah, where you really need to run those up in the RPM to get.
Yeah, you need to get more RPM out of it to get more performance out of the engine.
There's a mid-range, high-range power band in this engine.
That's pretty cool.
So that's
and then you can go in after that and you basically can change the line graphs on all your shifts.
Yep.
And mess with it, and you can do it almost not real time because you just pull over it on the side of the road if you wanted to.
Yep, and you can just flash it to the controller. Personally, I wouldn't have the engine running or anything.
Sure.
I'd key on engine off and then key cycle it afterwards. Select your table on the controller, and you're good to go.
Awesome. So let's put the one in there that you've got, and we'll see what it does. We'll take it out and do a little bit of a drive and see what it does, and then maybe we'll do even more. Who knows? We might be doing this until 5 o'clock tonight.
Might just take that line and go.
No, no.
Make the tires go.
No, no, no. All right, so we are now fixing to go out and do a test run. Same thing with the mic this time. We're trying it a little different. We'll see if it makes a difference. Down around 15 or 20 still.
Yeah, this is table one. This is the same table.
Oh, this is the original table, okay.
And right now, it probably wouldn't be moving much anyway.
Help if I put it in drive.
It does help.
Yeah, okay.
Let's just get it up to temperature, and then we can do a 1-2 at decent throttle. See how it feels, and then we'll switch tables and do a 1-2.
Okay. All right, so we're going out and driving it with the original tune just to kind of get familiar with it again and feel it. We do have a little bit of a vibration at about 65 miles an hour. So that's something we're going to be dealing with down the road here. We think it's probably a tire vibration. We're going to talk about that in another episode. All right, so we're going to do a acceleration test here as soon as traffic clears. All right, I'm going to go right now. Sorry, I have people in front of me. So now we know what our baseline is. Are you changing it now?
Felt it?
No. Yeah, something's different now.
Downshifted.
Okay, so now we've changed the table on the fly on the controller. You don't do that in the... Yes, that's different.
Yeah.
This could get real interesting in a second. So what we're doing... what we're doing now is we've changed the table to the new table that Cam set up. And we basically did it in a neighborhood. We were turning around, he changed the table, and now we're going to go out and drive and see what it's like. Woo!
That's a lot harder.
There you go. Yippee-ki-yay.
Alright, need to bring that down.
Yeah, it needs to come down a little bit. And that's what you're going to want to do is you're going to go out and drive it and say, yeah, that's too high for normal driving. I don't like that. The cool thing is if you don't like what you're doing and you get bad go back to the original table on it and run that.
Or have someone like me, because I'm changing the tune.
He's changing the tune right now as we're driving down the road.
And what I'll have you do is stop, and I'll write it to the controller, and we should be able to just take off and go again.
So now I got to go find a place to stop so he can write it to the controller. And we're just going to go through and start messing with that. That's the neat thing about the US Shift system when you're working with it on a laptop. We got a couple other things we're going to talk about when we get back to the shop at about 5:30, 6 o'clock, because knowing Cam and me, we're going to be screwing with this stuff for like an hour.
All day.
All day, maybe. I'm going to pull over here and Cam's going to readjust. So he's going to reset the, what are you doing now?
I'm going to write it to the controller. Set it to key on engine off.
Okay, so engine off.
Yep. Park.
And all he's doing is going through and setting the program up right now, and it'll go into the controller. Is it going to be a new table, or are you still working on table 2?
It'll be the old table.
So
It'll be table 2 still.
this is table 2. We're just messing with the one we've already got. We like certain things about it, but we're going to change some things too. The thing I like about this is really easy to muck with. I mean, he's over here just mucking around with it on the laptop right now as we're sitting on the side of the road, almost being run over by every car that passes. All right, we're going to do it again.
That started way too easy.
I'm worried now.
It didn't even burp.
Usually this thing's more persnickety than that. Oh, God, I love those freaking tires in there.
It's the price of success.
Price of pretty. Yeah, that's better. That's more like what a C4 would feel like. 2's a little soft
Yeah,
still.
that's still soft.
But all we're really showing you with that, I'm not going to sit here and bore you with us doing this all day long, because we could literally do this all day long. We're going to go through and we're going to do this off camera, but we're going to go back and talk about exactly what this means. It is just dynamite to me. I love the fact that we can go in and screw around with all these parameters so easily. So what do you think?
Moving a line. There we go.
We've been doing this all day. We've already been doing this all day.
You were saying?
You start doing the movie typing. Well, what I was going to say is I love this thing.
Yeah.
I really do like what we have with the US Shift thing and the ease of being able to go in and fix it. And if we don't like it, we can just go back to table 1 and we're good to go.
Yep. So, always got to back up. It's easy to tune.
I didn't realize it was that easy, and it's like just basically clicking on a spot and moving the spot up or down.
Yep, dragging it up, dragging it down.
I mean, in reality, there's not really all that much of a learning curve with it, so it's something that just an average enthusiast with a laptop could take it out, and he and his buddy could spend a couple hours really dialing in the 4R70W in their car.
Tank of gas, couple drinks, you're good to go.
Not
alcoholic drinks.
No,
I mean,
no. Maybe 50 years ago, that could have happened. Pack of smokes, couple beers.
it's good.
But then again, you wouldn't have had this
Yeah.
50 years
You'd
ago.
have been out there with a screwdriver on a modulator valve.
Jack the car up, turn the modulator valve. Let's go over a couple of things with it. We do like the fact of the adjustability of it. We think that it's pretty cool. Now, we did notice something between the 2-3 shift that is pretty soft under normal driving conditions, no matter what. And you said
I think that's due to the way the 4R70 and the AOD gear set is. The second gear clutch, this is going back to 5 years ago when I was trained on this. The second gear uses a one-way roller clutch.
right.
And then every gear above second, that clutch is still engaged. So if you downshift to second, you just release the clutch, second gear clutch is already engaged.
Right.
So it slams to second and it's happy to do it.
Right.
That's why these love to downshift like they do.
Right.
But on the upshift, you're not disengaging a clutch and then engaging another clutch. So I think you're just, I don't think without a lot of engine power going into it, you're not going to get a hard shift out of it, no matter what pressure we have.
I mean, I've been real happy with the way it shifts. We got a little bit more work I think we're going to do probably over the next few weeks, trying to get everything just completely dialed in where we want it. But the nice thing is we could set up a table 3 and say, okay, we're going to hold on to table 2 with what we've done.
Yeah.
Set up table 3 with another shift pattern set up in it and go, yep, that's really good. And so we can just actually, even on the fly, change between the 3 different setups if we wanted to on the controller.
Real thing to do would be to get the push button set up, because then you don't have any tables. It just does what you want it to do.
Yeah, you can basically make it a manual
Yep.
automatic with the 4R70W.
You can go into the Manutronics mode. The 4R70 can do it. Anything that's full solenoid controlled
Right.
can go manual mode, and you just have 2 push buttons and up down. It does what you want.
I would be tempted to do that. It'd be off camera talked about doing it with some household light switches.
Yeah. I've seen it. Yep.
Look like something out of like a Star Wars movie where you can adjust set everything up to go into
Get
space.
get those mil-spec switches. That
Yeah,
like,
with
the
little-
D10 is like.
the little rocker covers on them. They'll click, click, click. You open those up and you, So but I'm not probably going to do that. The idea of doing the push buttons on the steering wheel,
Yeah.
the steering wheel in here is nice enough, but it's not a really nice wheel. So I would be kind of tempted for us to maybe do that. If you guys are interested, I don't know why I'm doing this to myself. If you guys are interested in seeing us do the mods to put this stuff on the steering wheel for the 4R70W, let us know. We will absolutely go into it and mess with it and make that happen. Speaking of making things happen, check out our Patreon group. At the $10 a month level, you get monthly meetings with me on Zoom. You also get how-to videos from us that are strictly for our patron guys. What you're doing with that is you're actually helping us to be able to bring young people in and work with us on the show. Andrew is now a full part-time employee with us here at the show when he shows up on time, which it's not often much, but he still does show up. And we have other people coming in. We have young people from some of the high schools in the area. My kids are involved with it as well, so it's really neat to be able to help these young people learn something, and we have to feed them. We don't have to, but it's a good idea with teenagers. We feed them, and we also train them up so that they have some skills in this to be able to move on to maybe the next level of television production or whatever. Also, subscribe to the channel. We are on our march to 100,000 subscribers. We want to put a plaque in the middle of Paul's wall in Paul's wall.
The
So
Paul wall.
the Paul wall. There'll be Paul
Paul wall.
Paul wall. He actually is a patron. He joined up and became a patron because of the Paul wall, I guess. He wants to keep us from going in and
He's got his stake in the show now.
he has the ability to tell us what to do because he's got a stake in it. I guess other than that, folks, do me a favor, be kind to each other, love on each other, treat each other nice. You guys have a great week, and we'll see you next time on
Autorestomod.
You had a guy that wrote in and punked us for a Patreon account. That is an option that you don't have to do. If you don't want to do Patreon, don't do it.
Yeah, easy.
It's that simple. I'm just trying to help kids. I'm helping one that's mostly a child. It's just a
We
bigger
got a couple
version of
20-year-old
child.
kids, some teen-year-old kids,
big kid.
50-year-old kid.
Almost 60-year-old kid now. So yeah. But anyway, we got punked for that. I was like, what? Why?
Can't make people happy.
Can. Apparently we make thousands of people.
Comments off. Bad.
I'm not going to do that to the guy because I mean he's got a
no.
right to his opinion. It was a good point. You don't have to do it. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. Matter of fact, if you don't want to watch all the way in the video, you don't have to do that either. This is still mostly a free country. So until it stops being that and we are in control,
Low cost at 20-something% tax.
it's what like Denmark. One of those places over there is like 48% or something. But they get free health care.
Woo!
Which isn't free because you're paying for it with taxes.
I haven't had to go to a doctor for 5 years. Imagine how much I'd be saving. Free health care.
You'd be all over that when you going over and getting you like one of the scans
Yeah. No.
just to find out what's inside your head.
Yeah. No.
You already know what's in there.
A lot of broken stuff.
Bye.